Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of your breakfast show on Leadership Television, Inside Nigeria. Today is Tuesday, July 9, 2024, and of course, it's a fresh edition of the program. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. On this segment of the show, we have arrays of newspapers for review on this segment. And of course, we have Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. We'll go with Leadership first. Leadership's main headline story says, Fuel Scarcity. NNPCL marketers pass the buck as queues spread. Fuel Scarcity. NNPCL marketers pass the buck as queues spread. Motorists stranded. Black marketers flood Abuja streets. Supply portal down. We can't make order. Petron. NNPCL blames logistics challenge. Flooding for scarcity. That's the main headline story on Leadership and, of course, other newspapers, national newspapers, this Tuesday morning. Beside that, Northern Elders youths condemn kidnap of journalists. Hyena escapes from Jos Wildlife Park. Falling trees kill 4 at Edo Market. Islamic Council warns against disrespecting Sultan. And gradually to the masthead, bandits in hijab kidnapped 25 persons in Katsina. The story is on page 4 of Leadership. Bandits in hijab kidnapped 25 persons in Katsina. And on the business bus, stakeholders caution federal government over ban on used vehicles importation. Above the masthead of Leadership, NAS moves death penalty for vendors of national assets. Zenith retains best commercial bank for 4th time. Congratulations to the bank. With that, we move to the page 3 of Leadership, where we have our stand. Our stand is a permanent feature in the paper. Today's stand says communication in a developing economy. Communication in a developing economy. Our stand on Leadership newspaper. From our stand, we move to the back page where we have Tuesday column with Abdurrauf Aliyu. Abdurrauf is writing on Nigeria's imminent debt crisis. Nigeria's imminent debt crisis. Of course, all these you want to find out more as you log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to the Punch newspaper. Punch has different story entirely on its cover, talking about food security. The headline news says federal government suspends food imports duty. Partner states on farming. Government launches 5-month duty-free import window for maize, rice, wheat, others. Federal government to partner governors, military to cultivate arable lands. Support smallholder farmers. I'll take that again. Federal government suspends food imports duty. Partner states on farming. Launches 5-month duty-free import window for maize, rice, wheat, others. Federal government to partner governors, military to cultivate arable lands. Support smallholder farmers. We have the picture, which also has story underneath it on the Punch newspaper. Outrage as Russian missiles kill 33 in Ukraine Children's Hospital. Outrage as Russian missiles kill 33 in Ukraine Children's Hospital. We can see the picture from AFP on the cover of the Punch. Police arrest 121 court day celebration suspects in Benue Plateau. The story runs on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. Police arrest 121 court day celebration suspects in Benue Plateau. Kano orders crack down on same-sex marriage promoters. The story is on page 16 of the Punch. Kano orders crack down on same-sex marriage promoters. We move to the masthead where we have human rights, democracy, economic growth, key issues in Samoa agreement. Above the masthead, queues spread as petrol hits 1,100 naira per litre in Abuja orders. Marketers awaiting products from NNPC, says Petron. Naira weakens to 1,523 523 naira per dollar at official markets. That concludes the review of the Punch front headline stories today on leadership, inside Nigeria leadership. For more, log on to the website of the Punch, www.punchng.com. From the Punch, we move to Vanguard. Vanguard has similar story as its main headline today. Federal government opts for duty-free imports of rice, beans, wheat, other grains. Nachima says it will impact on inflation. CCPE says a step in the right direction. Farmer Action Aid Boss react. I'll take that again. Federal government opts for duty-free imports of rice, beans, wheat, other grains. 72 hours after abduction, fate of Kaduna journalist remains unknown. Anti-graft war, why we want urgent review of our criminal laws, EFCC. SCARCITY, NNPCL blames logistics, flooding as petrol queues grow longer. And in sports, still Nigeria ready to soar at Paris Olympics. Sports Minister hands over contingents to NOC. Above the masthead of Vanguard, banks borrowing from CBN skyrockets by 458% to 57.5 trillion naira. The story is on page 19 of Vanguard. Court bars Rivers CJ clerk from accepting Amawule's impeachment notice. Court bars Rivers CJ clerk from accepting Amawule's impeachment notice. The story that runs on page 10 of Vanguard. As Zenith Bank wins Best Commercial Bank in Nigeria and Best Corporate Governance Awards. UBS GMD appointed Chairman Body of Banks CEOs. Congratulations to him. Well, of course, with that, we also conclude the review of front headline stories on Vanguard newspaper today. For more, log on to www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, we move to Daily Sun newspaper. Of course, Daily Sun also has similar story as its main headline story this Tuesday, July 9, 2024. Federal government moves suspension of tariff taxes on rice, maize orders. Federal government moves suspension of tariff taxes on rice, maize orders to provide 150-day duty-free import window for food commodities, may okay importation of 250,000 MT of wheat, maize. Nachima hates decision, hence impacts on inflation. I'll take that again. Federal government moves suspension of tariff taxes on rice, maize, others to provide 150-day duty-free import window for food commodities. May okay importation of 250,000 MT of wheat, maize. Nachima hates decision, hence impacts on inflation. Minimum wage, government defense offer to labor, describes it as balanced, realistic. States can pay Akpabio Abbas. I'll take that second leading story once again. Minimum wage, government defense offer to labor, describes it as balanced, realistic. Akpabio Abbas says states can pay. Of course, these developments on the federal government's offer of 62,000 naira to labor, and today's story says government defense is offered to labor, which is 62,000 naira. Other stories on Daily Sun cover story says call to hear suit challenging alias executive order September 26. Customs rakes in 1.023 trillion naira at Apapa port, intercepts 11 containers of expired pharmaceuticals orders. Rivers crisis, court bars CJ clerk from accepting impeachment notice against Fubara from Amawule-led assembly. Lawmakers hold parallel sittings. Yusuf suspension, Kwakwanso's expulsion laughable. Kano NNPP. Strike, ASU gives conditions. 2 die, 18 rescued in boat mishap and Jigawa. And the last story gracing the cover of Daily Sun say EFCC CJ rejects Bello's case transfer request. Morocco denies granting visa to former governor. This concludes review of front headline stories today on Daily Sun newspaper. For more, log on to www.thesun.ng. From Daily Sun, we move to the last paper we have on our menu today, this Tuesday, July 9, 2024, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian has main cover, 2023 budget performance outlook. Unfunded deficit hits 1 trillion naira in 9 months. Worsens federal government's fiscal position. 2023 budget performance outlook. Unfunded deficit hits 1 trillion naira in 9 months. Worsens federal government's fiscal position. We have illustration beneath this main headline story. We have debt service 2022 4.23 trillion naira. 2023 5.79 trillion naira. That is debt service. Under debt service, we have growth 1.56 trillion naira. That is 36.7% growth in terms of debt service. Recurrent expenditure, we have in 2022 8.69 trillion naira. In 2023 we have 9.88 trillion naira. That is for recurrent expenditure. And growth, we have 1.19 trillion naira. That is 14% growth in recurrent expenditure from 2022 to 2023. For capital expenditure, we have in 2022 1.92 trillion naira. In 2023 1.28 trillion naira. For growth, we have 640 billion naira. That is minus 33% in terms of growth in capital expenditure. So what it means is that less is being given, is being expended in terms of capital expenditure. And for revenue, we have in 2022 5.49 trillion naira. In 2023 we had trillion naira. Growth, we had 1.97 trillion naira. That is 36% in terms of revenue. Then in fiscal deficit, we have 5.73 trillion naira in 2022, and in 2023 we had 4.4 trillion naira. For growth, we had just minus 1.33 trillion naira, and also minus 23%, which means there is a deficit, huge deficit in 2023 budget performance. From that, we move to other stories today on The Guardian. We have General tax federal government on new wage demand, caught in governance cost to avert crisis. General tax federal government on new wage demand, caught in governance cost to avert crisis. Is on news page 8 of The Guardian. 72-year-old man backslide jail for defiling minor. Fear over illicit flow to banks as shareholders struggle with rights issues. Obi urges anti-graft agencies to focus on grand theft. EEDC to refund 11.8 billion naira to Southeast customers. Students' loan, NAS gives tertiary institutions 48 hours to submit data. NNPCL, IPMAN blame private depot logistics for scarcity. Man climbs mass to protest economic hardship in Abuja. Is on news page 4 of The Guardian. Man climbs mass to protest economic hardship in Abuja. Federal government approves 150-day duty-free window for import of select food items. Is a story that runs on other papers as well, and is on page 3 the review of front headline stories on The Guardian. For more, log on to www.guardian.ng. With that, also we conclude today's Inside Nigeria, brought to you on Leadership Television.